Hello and welcome to Inside the Inferno. I'm Ben Yates. With me is Jack Bartlett for yet another Yartlet edition of the show. There's a lot of ASU sports topics to cover, and fortunately, Jack, we get to have one last show together.
Yeah, Ben, it's so great to be back at the desk here with you. I couldn't think of a better partner to spend my Friday with than with you. Let's get things started on the diamond, where ASU baseball has had some up and downs as of late. Mihir Sinhasan is here with all the details.
Thanks, guys. After Sunday's 11-5 loss to Utah, Arizona State head coach Willie Bloomquist said that there has not been calm waters during his tenure with the Sun Devils. If they can, then it will be sunsets and martinis. Don't worry, just some clear water in here. The Maroon and Gold are on the road in Southern California this week and just split a two-game series against Cal State Fullerton. Arizona State took the first game 3-1 on Tuesday as Kian Vu broke the deadlock in the fourth inning with a two-run shot. He was part of the three consecutive first-inning home runs on Sunday. Splash City, if you will. He brings it to Fullerton 2 days later. Wyatt Halverson, who made his third start of the season, held command on the mound with 13 strikeouts, only allowing 3 hits and 0 runs in 5 innings. But pitching was the exact opposite for the Sun Devils on Wednesday as they lost by 10, were run ruled in the 7th inning, and Titans catcher Waldy Perez led the way with 6 RBIs. Arizona State is in a whiskey on ice battle near Sunset and Vine this weekend against UCLA. Much like the Sun Devils, the Bruins have also struggled this season as they are currently 13-21 overall and 6-12 in Pac-12 competition. However, the side from Westwood have found their stride at home, winning 11 of their 18 games at Jackie Robinson Stadium this year. It will take a while for the Sun Devils to reach calm waters, but a series win this weekend and you're a little bit closer to sunsets and martinis. Back to you guys at the desk.
It's quite refreshing, thanks Mihir. Now over to Farrington Stadium, where the softball Devils haven't had much luck as of late. Following a crosstown rivalry this week, the Devils will take on another big rival this weekend. Let's check in with our softball reporter, John Kenny.
Thanks, Ben. This week in ASU softball travels down to Tucson for a 3-game series against the number 19 Arizona Wildcats. U of A is coming off a series win at home against number 22 Oregon. Meanwhile, Arizona State is coming into the series after losing its 7th straight game after losing a midweek game on Tuesday at Grand Canyon. The Wildcats are currently ranked 2nd in the Pac-12 in team batting average with a team batting average at .326. The Wildcats pitching has also been very strong, only giving up 3.38 runs per game. Something to watch for in the series will be the number of stolen bases. The Sun Devils are ranked 2nd in the Pac-12 and 39th in the NCAA in stolen bases, with 63 stolen bases this season. Back to you, Jack.
Thanks, John. On a lighter note, spring football practice is now underway, and Kenny Dillingham has a new assistant coach on the staff. Ryan Pesesnik tells us about the new face on the sideline.
Thanks, Jack. 1 week from today, ASU will be hosting the team's annual Maroon and Gold spring football game. It will mark the first time the Sun Devils took the field since their Territorial Cup loss to U of A last fall, and the beginning of a new era within the Big 12. Speaking of new things Sun Devils, it was announced earlier this week that former All-Pro receiver Hines Ward will become the team's next wide receivers coach. Ward previously served as the head coach for the XFL's San Antonio Brahmas and had brief coaching stints with FAU and the New York Jets. In his 14-year playing career with the Pittsburgh Steelers, Ward was a 4-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro, 2-time Super Bowl champion, and was the MVP in Super Bowl 40. Along with those personal accolades, Ward is also one of 14 players in NFL history with 1,000 or more career receptions. Now that he is at ASU, Ward will be taking over a receiving corps led by seniors Elijah Badger, Xavier Guillory, and Melquan Stovall, along with up-and-coming junior Troy O'Meary and redshirt sophomore Jordan Tyson. Kickoff will begin at 6 p.m. from Mountain America Stadium with pregame festivities beginning at 5 p.m. And to stay up to date on all things Sun Devil football, go to infernointelmedia.com or follow us on Instagram or X. Now over to Adam Cunin, who has more on the changes in ASU's quarterback room.
Thanks, Ryan. Well, with 2 talented young quarterbacks in the ASU QB room coming into the 2024 season, we knew there would be a battle for the starting quarterback job between redshirt freshman Michigan State transfer Sam Levitt and returning redshirt freshman quarterback Jaden Rashada. But this competition just came to an end yesterday with a seismic move, as last year's starting signal caller Jaden Rashada has opted to enter the transfer portal. Just over 1 year ago, the highly touted freshman Rashada took his first snaps as a Sun Devil in the 2023 ASU spring game. A few months later, he would be named the starting quarterback and was seemingly set to be the face of the program. Unfortunately for Jaden, injuries would derail his freshman year, as a sideline injury sidelined him just after 2 games and held him out until the last game of the season, where he was able to make one last start against Arizona. Battling more injuries this offseason set Rashada even further back, and with uncertainty around his position on the depth chart, he decided it would be in his best interest to move on from the program. The 4-star recruit finishes his career at ASU with only 3 starts, totaling 485 passing yards and 4 touchdowns. Although his time with the Sun Devils was short, he was able to flash his potential with a few impressive throws, and you have to wonder how things would have shaken out if Rashada had stayed healthy. Nonetheless, Rashada is headed out of Tempe, so where does this leave the Sun Devils under center? With his departure, in comes freshman quarterback Sam Levitt, who will most likely be the starting quarterback for the Maroon and Gold next fall. Levitt was a 4-star recruit coming out of high school, but received limited playing time last year. He only appeared in 4 games last season for the Spartans, but was able to showcase some impressive mobility and arm talent. This talent has shown up throughout camp so far and impressed the coaches enough to trust him to take first-team snaps. With only 2 scholarship quarterbacks on the roster now, the squad looks to be a bit thin at quarterback. Experienced fan favorite Trenton Bourget will likely enter the season as Levitt's backup, but don't be surprised if head coach Kenny Dillingham is active in this spring transfer portal to try and bring more depth to the quarterback room. Overall, it's a sad end to the short-lived Sun Devil career of Jaden Rashada, but perhaps this marks the birth of another legendary ASU quarterback with Sam Levitt. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Adam. Rashada marks the 20th Sun Devil to enter the transfer portal this offseason. In other news, ASU football and 4 individuals who previously worked for the school's football program have reached an agreement with the NCAA enforcement staff on recruiting violations that took place during the COVID-19 pandemic. Ben, it's been a tough past few days for the Sun Devils on the gridiron, to say the least.
Yeah, Jack, the penalties include a 4-year probationary period, a fine, self-imposed 2023 postseason ban, vacation of records for contests in which ineligible student athletes competed, scholarship reductions, and recruiting restrictions in alignment with the Level 1 mitigated classification for the school.
Moving over to hockey, the Sun Devils have found quite a bit of success in the transfer portal. Our Hannah Flanagan has more on the story.
The Arizona Coyotes may have just played their last game ever in Arizona, but ASU hockey is giving fans in the desert something to look forward to next season. The offseason is in full swing, and the Sun Devils have been taking full advantage of the transfer portal. Former Sun Devil Tim Lovell has just recently announced he will be moving on to the University of Michigan for his final year of NCAA eligibility. Despite this loss, we have a whole new group moving to Tempe. Junior Cruz Lucius is a forward coming from the University of Wisconsin. Lucius led the Badgers this season, putting up 34 points. He was drafted in the 4th round of the 2022 NHL draft to the Carolina Hurricanes. He was then traded to the Pittsburgh Penguins. We are looking forward to having him in Tempe. Another standout is Ryan Kerwin, a forward from Penn State, and Artem Shalin, a center, who is the former captain of the Michigan Wildcats. We also have some East Coasters coming to the West. Bennett Shimmick, a forward from Providence College, Noah Beck, a defenseman from Clarkson University, and Luke Pavicic, a goalie from UMass Lowell. There's plenty of hockey to look forward to in the next season in the Valley. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Hannah. Moving on from the ice to the green, ASU men's and women's golf are entering Pac-12 championship play for the last time. Roman Martinez has more on what to expect.
Yeah, Ben. Men's golf has had an excellent season thus far. Coming off a repeat win at Thunderbird Collegiate Tournament last weekend, the team blew its competition out of the water. Hitting an astounding -38 over the 2 days at Papago Golf Course, nobody could catch up to the Sun Devils. The closest to that margin were 2nd and 3rd place finishers, Oklahoma State and UCLA, who hit -10 strokes. On an individual note, Preston Summerhays led the pack, shooting 12 under par to repeat as the individual champion of the tourney. The last person to achieve that milestone, pro golfer John Rahm. As for women's golf, the team has begun to heat up at the right time. The number 13 ranked Sun Devils placed as runners-up in the Ping Invitational, a tournament in which they hosted. Leapfrogging the likes of number 1 Stanford, number 6 USC, and number 7 Oregon, the team fought valiantly on the last day. The Maroon and Gold second place finish marks the third straight tournament in which ASU has placed second or better. Up next for both men and women's golf is the Pac-12 Championship. In final year of its existence, the men will serve as hosts of the tournament. In doing so, the team will go for its 13th Pac-12 Championship at Desert Forest Golf Club the weekend of April 26. The women, on the other hand, will travel to Pullman, Washington, where they will look to win its 9th Pac-12 Championship. That tournament will take place from the 21st to the 23rd of this month. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Roman. After winning a national championship, ASU head coach Bob Bowman accepted a new role with the University of Texas. Now another big-name swimmer has opted to also leave the university and turn pro. Our Ernie Jimenez has the scoop.
Thank you, Jack. Just weeks after leading ASU to its first NCAA Swim and Dive Championship title, the freshman phenom from France, Leon Marchand, is turning pro following an outpouring of success with the Sun Devils. His decision to turn pro was anticipated, according to the former ASU coach Bob Bowman. It seems that plans were set in motion even before head coach Bob Bowman's departure to the University of Texas. Marchand's legacy at ASU is nothing short of legendary. He holds 6 program records and 5 NCAA records, including titles in the 200 IM and 200 breaststroke. His performance last summer at the World Aquatic Championships in Japan, where he set a world record in the 400 IM, was a highlight of his young career. Not to mention Marchand's contribution to ASU's recent national title victory, where he secured 8 individual titles and played a crucial role in 2 relay titles. The future looks bright for the French swimmer as he prepares for his Olympic debut in his home nation this summer. Turning pro allows Marchand to capitalize financially in ways that collegiate status under NIL rules would not permit. The partnership between Marchand and Bowman will continue as Marchand is set to join Bowman in Texas to train for the upcoming Olympic Games. Interestingly, Bowman will also join the French coaching staff in Paris to avoid any conflicts of interest, having coached both the French swimmer and Team USA previously. Leon Marchand's journey from a college athlete to professional and soon-to-be Olympic competitor will draw all eyes on him as he aims to make a splash on the world's biggest stage. Back to you guys.
And that'll do it for this week's Inside the Inferno. Thanks for listening to the variety of stories that we have from around the valley. And Jack, this is the end.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure to spend my Friday with you here at the desk and to be an anchor for Inside the Inferno. Next season will be up on deck after our summer break, but for Ben and I, it will be our final episode. Thank you all for supporting our collegiate careers as Ben and I will be graduating in May.
And for all of us here in the studio and our fantastic production crew, thanks for joining us.